What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the F124 Ferrari driver career mode. Yes, that's right, we're back here in Spain for round 10 of the series. And I have, first thing, changed all of my engine components that need change. So a brand new MGUK for harvesting power, and then a brand new ICE internal combustion engine, which is what was causing our loss of power down the straights in Canada. Hopefully, that issue will be fixed now. And in terms of the standings, we are just holding on in front of Red Bull. We are 8 points ahead in the constructor standings, and in the driver standings, we sit in second, 34 points behind Max Verstappen. But yeah, let's jump straight into qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix.
It's a Catalonian qualifying for you today. Welcome along to Spain, to Barcelona, and wherever you are in the world. Do you feel the need? The need for speed?
Well, here we go, preparing to start our first run of Q1. Cars felt pretty decent so far, but this is where our true pace really shows, and this is where it matters. Well, here we go then as we approach the final section. Of course, removing that final wonky chicane in 2023. As now we go up towards the line, it's going to be second quickest, so 0.06 of a second off Max Verstappen. The 113.646. So that should see us through to Q2, so it looks like we could be in the fight for pole here today. Well, here at the end of Q1, Max Verstappen tops the timing sheets with us just behind in second. And then Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri setting the exact same time. So once again, the two McLarens having very, 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 very similar pace as with the two Mercedes. Not so much with the two Red Bulls, though. Sergio Perez down in 9th at the end of Q1, 0.8 off of Max Verstappen. So let's see if we have any surprises here. So we have Logan Sargent, not last. He is out-qualifying. Yeah, he out-qualified Zhou Guanyu and Kevin Magnussen, and then Esteban Ocon out, and so is Nico Hulkenberg. Valtteri Bottas makes it through, though, so good effort from him. He's up in 13th. So, pretty decent lap from the Kick Sauber. But, yeah, let's progress on to Q2. Well, here we go. At the end of our lap, through the final corner we go as Lando Norris goes quickest up towards the line. It's going to be only 6th. So, behind Daniel Ricciardo. Well, here we go. End of Q2. End of Q2. Lando Norris topping the timing sheets with Max Verstappen just under a 10th behind him. Then Oscar Piastri. Then us two Ferraris, Leclerc, and then myself. And I was just looking, George Russell and Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo was just a millisecond behind Russell's time, which means our first lap was a 114.263 I would imagine. Which means we were just 1 millisecond off of Ricciardo and 2 off of Russell. So I just thought that was kind of interesting there. Alex Albon making it through in the Williams, so good pace from him. Lewis Hamilton gets knocked out of Q2. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Clearly not great Mercedes pace this weekend. And Sergio Perez gets knocked out, so on a horrible run of form once again, it seems, for the Mexican driver. So yeah, let's see what kind of time we can set to determine our starting position for tomorrow's race. Right? Ready to start our first run of Q3. Just want to set a decent banker lap on the board. So I don't even have to brake there. That was nearly flat out. Excuse me. I just lifted off the throttle for just a fraction of a second. So let's see what kind of time we can put in here. So we head down into turn 1, followed by turn 2, and then 3 goes back to a long right-hander that was excruciating on the older games, such as 2019, 20, and 21, because pre-22 Formula 1 regulations, cars weren't that quick through the fast corners, but now these new generation of cars are able to take those faster corners flat out. Like China comes to mind. I'm sure Malaysia would be an absolute blast to drive in these cars as well. But guess we'll never know as we get a big old kick of wheel spin there. So you need to be a little more patient on the throttle. I can also trust the drag to slow my car down through some of these corners a lot more than I can in F123s. Now we go up towards the line. It's going to be 2 milliseconds off of Russell. This is a very tight qualifying session. Alright, here we go. Ready to start our final lap of qualies. I'm just going to let the RB car by me there. Hopefully we won't get held up from him too much, but I am going to tuck into the slipstream of him. That might have been a bad move. He was just coming up on me, and I didn't want him to be all over the back of us. But now it seems, as we start our final run, that we are going to be far too close. We might not make an improvement due to the dirty air. It's going to be affecting our car and our tires. As you can just see there, I lose so much front-end downforce as we're already starting to go positive on the delta. I was able to get on the power a little quicker there. We just squeezed in a purple sector for the first part of the lap. Now we're going to tuck into the slipstream of him once again. I'm just going to go for an overtake here, actually. Can you imagine? I get pole position with an overtake on my lap. Absolutely insane scenes here at the Spanish Grand Prix of 2024. And now we're going to zoom on in through the final set of corners. Now take this final corner completely flat out. Would you look at that, up towards the line? It is going to be P1, 5/10 faster than anybody else. As Fernando Alonso at his home Grand Prix now goes second fastest. Are we going to be on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix? Just our teammate left. Oh, Max Verstappen just swipes pole position from us. So unbelievable there. I thought for sure we had that in the bag, but Max put in a fantastic magic lap like he always does. Just at the last moment there, so yeah, I'm just devastated with that, but P2 still not bad, especially making an overtake on our final run. Well, Max Verstappen on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix. We are just 33 milliseconds behind the Dutchman. Fernando Alonso at his home Grand Prix, 3/10 back in third. Then our teammate Charles Leclerc, not far off of him in fourth. Then comes George Russell, whose teammate, remember, got knocked out in Q2, starting 11th. Oscar Piastri out-qualifying Lando Norris by quite a margin, so good lap from Piastri. Pierre Gasly up in 8th, so Alpine have a good chance of scoring points today. And then comes Daniel Ricciardo in the RB, and then Alexander Albon in his Williams car rounds off the top 10 of Q3. So if we can get past Max off the line, I think we have a chance of winning this thing, and hopefully he won't just shoot off into the distance.
So many eventful races here in Barcelona over the years. Do you remember Max Verstappen's first win on debut for Red Bull here in 2016? 2 years before, we had the dramatic coming together of Hamilton and Rosberg going towards turn 4. There's always a treat in store as we head back to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Mr. Monaco completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Gasly, Ricciardo, Albon, Hamilton, Stroll, Tsunoda, Bottas, Perez, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Sargent, Magnussen, and Zhou Guanyu. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me, bringing glamour and expertise to our commentary today, Naomi Schiff. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race.
Alright, well, here we go, ready for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. We're going to go for a one-stop strategy. And hopefully we can get a better launch than Max Verstappen off the line.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
Well, Max Verstappen taking a risk here, starting on the alternate strategy, so starting on the soft compound tires.
Cars take their positions on the grid. The teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking is which teams have got it right and which ones have got it horribly wrong?
So I'm sure he will get a better getaway off the line on those softer tires with more grip. As Fernando Alonso is going to line up behind us, and everybody below 10th is starting on the soft tires, excluding Zhou down in last. And there he is now pulling up into his grid spot. Now the green flag's going to wave. And we are now sat in the car ready for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. We weren't held for very long as we get a little bit of wheel spin off the start there. And as I said, Max Verstappen does get a better start. He's going to go defensive to the inside. Can we try to swoop around the outside of the Dutchman? Oh, he's just going to slam the door on us as we're going to just try to defend from Fernando there. There's a little bit of wheel bang. Whoa, very aggressive from Fernando Alonso there. So Max already 1.5 in the lead. So, not good news for us. We need to try to stay with him. I know he is on those softer compounded tires, so he will be quicker at the start of the race, but our tires will come to us as this Grand Prix progresses on. So we already have some very aggressive moves from Fernando Alonso and the Aston Martin there, but our battle must have bogged him down because now our teammate Charles Leclerc is up into third, so it's a Ferrari 2-3 at the moment. Max has already pulled out over a second on me now. So we won't have the DRS, so now we're going to be scrapping away with all of the cars behind us. So we head now out towards the final corner. As we don't get the greatest of exits, but now Max Verstappen leads by 2.3 seconds. At the end of lap 1, we're just going to deploy a whole lot of battery so our teammate Charles Leclerc can't get a run on us. That engine power clearly paying off. Here comes Charles Leclerc to the inside of turn 1. We're going to force him to go the long way towards that corner. And we're going to hold on to the position for now. I've just been trying to manage my tires. I've already taken way too much out of them here at the start of the Grand Prix. And Max is not pulling away as much as I thought he would on those soft compound tires, so that might be a good sign. But that also could be because we're pushing so hard, so I'm sure the gap will start to increase once we start to manage a little bit more as we have yellow flags out. Somebody's got some issues. Can't see. That looks like, is that a Red Bull? Is that Sergio Perez? No, excuse me, it's not a Red Bull. It was Alex Albon in the Williams, and he just goes a little wide there. And now he is down to dead last. Well, we didn't get the greatest of exits out of the final corner. We're just going to deploy as much battery as we can, as now Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race, but now our teammate Charles Leclerc is just going to sail past us there. Seems to have some serious pace this weekend, does our teammate. And now we're just going to try to stay with him up towards the next DRS zone, see if we might be able to have a look back into turn 1 once we get around this lap. Now he's going to be giving off some dirty air to us, which will certainly not help our tires. Will certainly not help our lap times. Well, coming out of the final 2 corners of the lap, we need to try to get a good exit. Oh, and I upshifted way too early there, so that's going to lose us some revs for sure, but we are gaining on the slipstream of our teammate Charles Leclerc. He's going to force us to go the long way around, which will then give us the inside line for turn 2, but we don't even need it as we just soar past him by the time we get to the apex of 1. Whoa, big snap there. So we just had to get off the powers. Now here comes our teammate Charles Leclerc. He's going to look for a move up into turn 4. No, he's not. Max Verstappen 3.5 seconds up the road. Well, Max Verstappen is struggling on those soft compound tires as much as we are. He's not having a good time of it. As here comes our teammate Leclerc once again, and he's just going to swap positions with us down into turn 1. So now we're going to be in that dirty air once again, and that is not what I need. And we're going to start losing that time gap that we were just managing to Max Verstappen as well. So we also have a whole bunch of cars behind us who would love to have a sniff at a podium today. Ooh, as I just go in the inside curve there of that turn. Can't lose touch with my teammate here, or else that could be race over for us, and any hopes of a win could be squashed. So I've just been managing my tires for the past few laps, but now I need to push. As you can see, the gap starting to come down between myself and Charles Leclerc. It's always better where you can see the gap come down visually rather than if he's 10 seconds up the road. Well, as we don't get the greatest of exits out of the last corner. But we are going to have DRS in the slipstream and deploy a little bit of battery. As here we go on our teammate. He's going to open the outside line for us. We're going to fake him to the inside. Whoa, very late move there from Charles Leclerc. Extreme driving from him. That was almost worthy of a penalty. So obviously driving on the limit is the Monegasque driver. And this is just costing us even more time to Max Verstappen ahead as we squabble away. I thought for sure I had that move done. Oh, as I just locked the rear tires there. And I'm going to lose the DRS to Charles Leclerc ahead, maybe. So now I'm just all on the back foot. Need to refine my flow around the circuit. Yeah, I'm not going to have DRS. I need to try to get it back down towards turn 1. Or, like I said, this could be race over for us. Well, here we go. Gaining on Charles Leclerc. Can we just launch one up the inside of the Monegasque? Yes, we can, and that is us back up into second. Max Verstappen now 4 seconds up the road. Well, the tires aren't really struggling as much on the right-hand side of the car. It's definitely more the left with the nature of the circuit, but it is pretty extreme. Look at that. Only 12 and 20% on the right-hand side and 34 and 35 on the left. So, that is absolutely extreme there. So we're definitely going to have to box on a schedule. As now here comes Charles Leclerc once again. He's going to try to go down the inside. Can he make it stick? He's just going to leave the inside line, or the outside line, excuse me, open once again for us to zoom and get a good defense. As now it's getting to a point where we have to start lifting a bit through turn 3 if we want to make that corner. We can't take it flat out with these tires. I've been just watching the gap to Max Verstappen. It's just been maintaining about for the past few laps. So not really gaining or losing to him. And I wonder if he will box at this around the same time as us, or what? Because I think he might be on a two-stop strategy here in Barcelona this afternoon. And if that is the case, he'll be coming through the field quick with the way tire wear is looking.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Yeah, I can definitely start to feel the effects of some tire wear, Mark. But yeah, as I was saying, with the nature of the degradation on this circuit, a two-stop could be the way to go this afternoon. So now we aren't going to get the greatest of exits. Surely this is a done deal for Charles Leclerc. He's just going to zoom right by us. And now, here comes Fernando Alonso at his home Grand Prix, trying to have a sniff at a podium. Of course, last time he finished on a podium here at this circuit was 2013, when he won the Grand Prix with Ferrari. And now he is battling with the Ferrari for that final spot on the podium. But for now, we hold on to it, as team wants us to box at the end of lap 15, and I think that is a great idea. Now Max Verstappen, race leaders, into the pit lane, as now we're going to be gaining on our teammate Charles Leclerc. We're going to swoop into now the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Of course, everyone else still has to make their stops yet, so Max will be wanting to push as hard as he can on those new tires that he's stopping to. Right, team won us in at the end of this lap, as now here comes Charles. We're just going to squeeze him out. And now Alonso, we're almost going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Alonso looking for a move there. Oh, geez, see, I tried to take it flat out and we just don't have the grip for it. So these brand new tires are going to feel amazing on this Ferrari car. Looks like if we get a nice clean stop, which we haven't the past few races, but assuming that happens, we should come out at about 11th place. Not sure if that's ahead or behind of Max Verstappen. I would assume it is behind, because of course he had that gap when he first came in and has been driving on those fresh tires for a few laps now. Now we're going to head out of the penultimate corner into the pit lane. Just get a good run through there. Now get the car nice and slowed. Just about there. So now we're going to come into the pit lane.
Okay, we had an issue attaching the left rear wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put that behind us now and get back into this race.
It's just every time at this point. I mean, that only cost us about a second, but it's basic things here. Why can't we seem to get a good pit stop in F1 24? So now we're going to head out onto the track ahead of Fernando Alonso. So now we're on these tires, and we are 11 seconds behind Max Verstappen. So he has certainly been pushing on those brand new tires that he's had for a while. But I think he might have to stop again, because going to the end of the Grand Prix on those mediums would be quite a chore. But we've seen the Dutchman manage his tires like that before, so I don't want to count anything out. So now Charles Leclerc comes into the pit lane. As is Oscar Piastri. So now Max hits the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So now we're going to try to pick up the pace as well. So there we can just see Leclerc and Piastri coming out of the pit lane. Did Leclerc just jump us in the pits as Fernando's going to try to go? Oh, he just squeezes between myself and our teammate there. That was extremely close from Fernando Alonso. Well, we can have a look here. He is tucked in the slipstream with DRS, and he pulls out and goes between us two Ferraris, one coming out of the pit lane, and just squeezes us there. That was a very good move from the Spanish world champion.
Okay, mate. Right, we've got a full battery, which means we can use more of it to gain performance. Let's go.
Team wanting us to use a little more battery now. Fernando is now a second clear of us, so clearly feeling a lot better on these brand new tires than I am. So I just don't know where the grip is after being on those old tires for so long. I've always had that problem inside the F1 games, but it seems to be very prominent this year in F1 24. So now just look how much Max is pulling away. Seems to be a return to form for Max Verstappen for sure in terms of dominating wins. So we're 7/10 behind Fernando coming out of the final corner.
Okay, nice work. Really good job with that target, mate.
Get a good old slipstream. We're going to try to go down the inside of Alonso there. And we get the move done. No, we don't. He's going to try to go back at us towards turn 3. What a move. He's defending like hell, but now we're going to go towards turn 4, and surely this is a done deal now. Yes. Is it? No. Turn 5. Are we going to go side by side? Yes, we are. What a remarkable battle here. Aston Martin versus Ferrari. But now we do finally clear Fernando Alonso.
Okay, some information on Ricciardo. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Well, Daniel Ricciardo pulling off to the wayside there. Whoa, very wide out of the penultimate corner, so that's going to put us on the back foot. Now surely our teammate's going to get a run on us. But yeah, as I was saying, Daniel Ricciardo now out of the Grand Prix. That's not our teammate, that's Fernando Alonso, excuse me. But now we are just going to go defensive and hold on to the position. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo pulling off to the wayside. So heartbreak. He's had a bad run of form recently. Of course, he had that disaster in Monaco. Then we got to Canada and he finished quite low down, and now he is not even going to finish this race. Not sure where he was running, but I don't think it was even in the points. So our RB falling back just a little bit compared to where we've seen them at the start of the season. So now Max Verstappen's nearly 18 seconds ahead of us. Unbelievable pace for the Dutchman. I already mentally prepared myself before the race to not finish on the top step of the podium, because I knew our race trim wouldn't be as quick as our qualifying pace. But we just seem to be holding on to second for now. Well, if Max Verstappen does make another stop, by the time his tires fall off and we have the tire advantage, we will no way be able to regain this gap that he's pulling out. Well, the gap to Max Verstappen is now 20.2 seconds. And, yeah, there just seems to be nothing we can do against the Dutchman's elite pace. He's been absolutely the star of the show here in Barcelona this evening. It's the only place we seem to be gaining or maintaining the gap is down these straights with some battery deployment. Well, it is now just starting to look more and more likely that Max Verstappen will not make another pit stop in this Grand Prix. So, I'll be happy with the second place if we can hold off Fernando Alonso for the rest of the race. I'll be happy. Like I said, I already knew I probably didn't have the best shot at winning the Grand Prix here. But Max Verstappen has absolutely shown everybody else up today. He had far better pace on the softer compound tires than the majority of the top 10. Well, all the top 10, in fact, rather than him. So the gap's been coming down by a few tenths a lap, but nowhere near enough to catch him by the end of this race. Well, we did not get a good run of it out of the final corner. Now here comes Fernando Alonso on us. Nothing we can do. As now our teammate Charles Leclerc is going to try to join the party, but he just isn't close enough. So now Fernando Alonso makes the move on us for second. But we have just been saving up some battery for this exact scenario as I go a little wide there out of turn 3. We just stay in the DRS range of Fernando Alonso ahead. Very, very close. But now we're going to gain all the way down the main straight. You can see how powerful this DRS is. So we almost get close enough to make a move, but not quite. So now we need to stay with the Spaniard. This is the penultimate lap. So it seems like we'll have one more chance to clear him. Well, this could be our final chance to clear Fernando Alonso, heading down towards turn 1. Now we're going to get a slipstream. He's going to go... Now we're going to go side by side, but we do just about make the move stick. Heading towards turn 3. Just losing so much grip as we rejoin alongside Fernando Alonso. And now we're going to go 3 wide into turn 4 with our teammate Charles Leclerc, seeing what he can do. And now we're going to go side by side with Alonso once again. We've seen this before. Got to give him the space on the outside. Oh, now Fernando is going to want to get a move on us heading down this back straight here. Give it everything we've got, as he's not close enough to make a move. But Max Verstappen now rounds the final corner, comes across the line to win the Spanish Grand Prix by 22.5 seconds. Absolute elite race from the Dutchman today. But now we are going to come towards the final corner with a big old slide there, fighting Fernando all the way to the line. But we're going to come home for P2 at the end of the Grand Prix.
Yes, great drive, great drive. Everyone here is really happy with that performance. Well done, mate.
The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
Well, that's 2 race wins in a row for them. I think they'll be really happy with that. I mean, 1 race win is great, but to have 2, you know that you've got it. You're a little bit more comfortable in your skin. This is a great sign of maybe what's to come next.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Well, Max Verstappen wins the Spanish Grand Prix. He shows the trophy to his team. We come home second, with Fernando Alonso third for the first time on the podium at the Spanish Grand Prix since 2013. And Adrian Newey is also up there alongside his team, Red Bull. Representing them as the champagne now sprays.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. Well, it is victory for Max Verstappen here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. We come home second. He wins by, well, it says 23 seconds. So, absolutely insane scenes here. And Fernando Alonso is just a tenth behind us in third. Then comes our teammate Charles Leclerc, who's 2 tenths behind him for fourth. Then comes Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, neck and neck all the way to the line once again. Then George Russell, Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll recovering from 12th. And Sergio Perez did do a good job as well, qualifying 15th. But he should have finished a lot higher than 8th in that Red Bull. And then Lewis Hamilton comes home to pick up the final points position. Pierre Gasly does not score points for Alpine, but his teammate Esteban Ocon is almost up to the back of him after starting on opposite ends of the grid. Then comes Kevin Magnussen from 19th. So clearly that alternate strategy worked out well for a lot of drivers. Then Yuki Tsunoda, Valtteri Bottas, Nico Hülkenberg, Alexander Albon managed to recover from Zhou Guanyu and Logan Sargent after that mistake he had early on in the race. And then Daniel Ricciardo, of course, finishing last. So, yeah, in terms of the standings, that puts us, well, keeps us second, 42 points behind Max Verstappen, who extends his lead even further. And now we are just holding on once again to the Constructors' lead in the championship. Only because Sergio Perez has not been showing up and is not scoring as many points alongside Max. So 8 points in the lead from Red Bull.
But yeah, that is all for this video. And I'll see you guys next time out at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, one of my strongest and favorite tracks. So let's see what we can do there. But for now, it is goodbye, and I'll see you guys next time in the Austrian mountains.